Hi everyone, this is Cape at CapesCornerCreations, back with part 2 of our building our journal. Learn to create with things at home. I got a string here. Here we go. So part 2 is putting your signatures in. So there is a lot of other things you can do before this part, but we're going to build our signatures. I have some papers ready here, and some are coffee dyed. You can do that. We'll do that lesson maybe in a week or so. For now, we're gonna pick some papers and build our signature. This book is about 8.5 by 5. Let me measure for you. Don't want to assume. It's 5.5 by 8.5. So I'd already decided on 4 signatures, and let's see how we're going to arrange. I have picked, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 pages. May or may not use that many. Let's see how that looks. Alright, so this is a piece of, you can see in my camera here, if I can stay in the camera. This is just a piece of scrapbooking paper, and it's white on the inside, so there's a lot we can do with that on the inside. This is a piece of writing parchment paper. And then we have some avocado dyed paper, and that's when you see the pink. We have some coffee dyed paper, and you see the brown or greenish, or depending on what paper you're doing, sometimes you'll see blue and pink and green, and more coffee dyed, and more coffee dyed, and then some old book page. So let's see if we need to do 7 is quite a bit. I think I want to bring that down to 6 maybe, I don't know. Anyways, now your papers are all different sizes, pretty much going to fit in the journal. The only thing, I mean, they're going to fit lengthwise this way. Let me put this camera up just a little bit so you can see. So, but this way they're going to fit. Now, but on the edge, they may be big, but we can deal with that later. Right now, our goal is to just put them together and get them in the book. I have 4 signatures with 7 papers. So, when you think about that, you think, well, that's only 28 sheets of paper, but it's 28 times 4, which is 112 pages, because you have 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. So each page is 4 pieces of paper when you start counting pages. So, so I'd like to begin with the heavier if I could think, heavier craft paper, because it is going to be the front and back of your signature, which gives it, it's a little sturdy, so you can add things to it. And I like that the covers are a little bit more sturdy than a thinner piece of paper. And then you can add some papers as we go. We'll decide how we're going to do that. And you kind of center it with your centerpiece. We're not going to worry about the edges, but we are going to worry about our crease. So this one is right where the hole is in this paper. And I'm going to mark it with a pencil just because so we can see where our center is on each paper. That's just for my my eyes to remember what I'm doing. Oh, don't want that one next. I don't like similar papers back to back. Now this one is bigger, so this one would fit from top to bottom. Then we can go here. I like the holes at the bottom of the signature. If the paper has holes, I just prefer that. And then we have some parchment. No, I think I'm going to do this next. This little book page. And that'll be, let me think, I think I'm going to go up and do there. So it'll have two places where it catches. And then this one's torn, but that's okay because we can do other things with that. We can add things or subtract things. There we go. And then the parchment in the middle. There we go. Okay, so as our first signature, there we go. So when you're flipping through your book, you know, there'll be 4 of these, like so, in your book. And we have this page, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. Now, this is the tricky part. Getting your signature. Well, first we have to mark it. No, that's not going to work. Let me find my other needle here. This one. Because what we're going to eventually do is thread it and sew it to the journal. So for right now, we'll line up these papers after. Let's fold all our papers. Then we're going to punch holes in the papers and in the journal so we can line that up. Now this one has this page as the cover, but I do want to keep them similar, so let's open this and see what we have here. So we have this one, and this one, and then we have our avocado dyed paper, and our, let's see, did I miss one? I think I did. 1, 2, 3, and our book page. We haven't put this one on the bottom half, so I'll get the bottom two. A little bit opposite. So 1, 2, 3. Oh, and this one. Now this one only has the lines on one side, but that's fine. We'll figure it out. 3, 4, 5, 7. Okay, let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. There we go. And we have 2 more. Another cover. This one. This one is coffee stained, coffee dyed paper. We have our book page. I could remember 2 minutes ago, but you know, it's late in the day, and it is what it is for me. Some days I'm just a little tired. I had a busy day today, so some days it is what it is. And there we go. There's 3, and the last one. So we have this page, and then we have, oops, where is it? This one. You don't have to be this fussy. You can just leave them whichever way you want them. Just throw them all together, and just as long as they have about the same many pages on each one. It doesn't have to be exact like these, the papers. I just wanted this particular book to have a different flow because I don't think I'm going to be using like lace on this book, just because I wanted it a little bit more masculine. And I didn't want it full of, you know, bells and whistles and lacy and all that. So I'm going to try and do something different with this particular journal. There we go. Now, here we go. This is the hardest part, I swear to you, putting this together. I'm going to remove these white papers now because my workspace is dirty. I was just doing that to get started. But, you know, craft world is a sticky, sometimes, you know, dirty mess. But we clean as we go. It looks bad, but it's washed every day, but it's got paint and glue and, oh my. Okay, so when this is all together like this, you put it in your journal, and you close, and it won't look like that. Looks like one signature right now because they're all together, but it is going to be four different ones. So we're going to start with the individual signatures. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Now, try and keep these as straight as I possibly can. And I'm going to put a paper clip on that. I may need more than one. Let's see here. Where are my paper clips? Oh, of course they're out of reach. Maybe I have some here on my desk. I always have I have this dish here. Let me bring it forward. All kinds of stuff in it, because you know what happens as you work, you create chaos. So instead of putting every little bit back, I keep this bowl for things like this, for these little urgent, I need a paper clip. There we go. Let me get that out of the way. Okay, so there's one. And we're going to do that with each one. And just kind of line them up. Because they're different sizes. If they were, you can cut them all the same size, and then you wouldn't have this fussy stuff going on. But like I said, these pages are a little bit different size. They just you know, worked out that way as I was collecting pages for this journal. I got hair clips and paper clips and, oh my goodness. Whatever works, whatever you have ready to help you, just hang on to it. It's only going to be a few minutes, and then we can take them off. But I may not have enough in my little junk drawer here. Let's see. Everybody has a junk drawer. After all, when you're making junk journals, you have all these things. Oh my goodness. Oops. I'm grabbing the next one. There's two. And let's see, this one starts with this page. Two. That's the bottom. That's the other thing. I gotta make sure that going bottom to top because I like the holes, the papers that have holes, to be on the bottom. So let me push that one down a bit. Yes, so that will be the bottom. Okay. And there we go. You know, you probably have a better way to do this, but I'm just, there we go, 3 and one more. Let's see. You're probably thinking, oh my goodness, you should do it this way or that way. Well, you can always encourage me and you know, give me ideas if you see a better way. But it's just a quick fix here till we 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. There we go. The thing is, you want to catch all the pages, you know, centered, so that when you're tying them into the journal, they're pretty secure. You don't want, you know, loose ones or they tear. And of course, most things can be rectified, but okay, bottom, oops, lost a clip. 2. I think I'm going to switch those around like that, and then this one, and then this one. Okay, so when you open your journal, and your first page will be this one. I really like that. Okay, so here's what we're going to do. I just slide them forward just a bit, like this, all 4. And I'm going to take a marker. Now, you have to remember, these are going to be standing back to back on the back of the journal, so you're not going to see these marks. But, so, just a little bit of space here. We're going to come down about 1/2, 3/4 of an inch, because you don't want your thread to be at the tippity top of the paper, because you're not going to catch them all and it will tear. So we're going to come down. I should measure for you. Okay, so probably an inch from the top of the book. We'll come down an inch there, and we're just going to go right across here. Let me get that one closer. Here and here. Alright, now then I'm going to go 3 inches. I keep the top and the middle closer together for more support, and then the bottom one a little bit further out. And that helps you also remember what's the top and what's the bottom. 4, and then this one will be 4 inches. 1, 2, 3, 4. Well, actually, we're going to go 4 1/2 because we do want to keep it closer to the bottom. And these dots, when we punch the holes, will be actually, we're going to put them here, but we're also going to put the dots on the inside. So we have 1 inch, 3 inches, and 1, 2, 3, 3 1/2. Is that right? 1, 2, 3. Okay, now I'm going to move these aside, and we're going to look, see where our creases are. So this is between these two and these two. So we have to put 4 dots in there. So we're going to take one of these, bend it up on that crease. So we want to go about right here with the first one. Oh, this plaid is hard to see. So I'm going to do 1. Let me see where this is. So we have to get 4 there. 2, 3, and 4. It's a little cockeyed. We'll come more this side. But you know, it's kind of all freehand here. Okay, so now this is the next one. So we're going to come down here and do this 1, 2, 3, and 4. And one more time. Right down here, we're going to do 1, 2, 3. I know building the outside of the book was so much easier. Oh, look, and I'm not even in the camera. I'll push that up for you. And the last one, 4. Okay, there. Now, okay, so we are going to next, let me put the cover back on my pen here for a second. Now we're going to go inside because we start on the inside. So we're going to go down 1 inch from the top. That'll be our first one. And then 3 inches, 1, 2, 3. And then 3 1/2. 1, 2, 3 1/2. And right here. Okay, so let's do 1 first so that you can see how this is going to be. Now we have to get our big chomper here. This is the greatest invention, let me tell you. This is probably listed on my, this camera is way too close. Okay, this is probably listed down below in my supplies. This is the Crocodile 2, and it gives you 2 different size holes, and it also does the little, you know, eyelets. So there. Okay, so we're going to punch right on the hole, right on these dots here. Well, first we're going to make sure. Okay, so if you can see this, let me bring this up here. If you watch right here, there's 2 size holes, the first one and the second one, and we're going to go with the first one. If you can see that little silver thing come down, and it will punch that hole right through there. Alright, so that's what we're going to do. We're going to line it up, and we have to look because right on that black dot, I push it till it holds it, and then you just, that's simple. It's already done all the way through all those papers. And it goes right through the journal as well, just as easily. And 2. And we're going to turn it around and do this one. This is a 9-inch width, I'm pretty sure. Or 9 1/2 or something. Let's see. There. Alright now. So then, that's the first one. Where's my needle? Here's my needle. And I had some thread. Okay, here's my thread. And my scissors. Okay, so I have some embroidery thread here. They come with 6 strands, so it's pretty sturdy to use. So we're going to do 1, 2, 3 times the length. You're going to thread your needle, and we start with the furthest one out to the back of the journal. So we're going to take a look at this book here. We have to make sure that our top and our middle line up. Top, middle, and bottom. And that's good, but might be off a little bit here. You may have to lower that a bit. Let me try that again, just to be sure. Now it looks a little wonky over here. This is 1. That's 3, and that's 3.5. But it looks. I'm gonna punch that hole just below that bottom. Draw a line across, so I remember to do that. Okay, I'm dropping things here. Don't know what it was. A paper clip probably. Okay, so you start on the far right side. You're going to do this one first, so you open it to the middle. Your thread is going to start in the middle of your journal. Go in the middle hole. Oh, did we poke a hole? We didn't poke our holes. Oh, for goodness sakes. You know, here I am telling you, and then I don't do it. Okay, so I want you to show you, same as the paper, we're going to line this up right on the black dot. Okay, and then squeeze. And I'm going to punch all the holes, because once we get a signature in there, it'll be a little tricky to do that. So let me, and these don't have to be like, you know, sometimes they come out perfect and they look great, and sometimes they're a little bit wiggly, but that's okay, because as long as they're in securely, it'll all be good. 3 and 4. And then 1, 2, 3, and 4. I'm going to turn it around. And remember, this one I had marked a little bit off, so I'm going to bring it down just a hair. 1, 2. It'd be better if I had my reading glasses on. Oh my goodness, I'm so not used to that yet. I had cataract surgery, and I have perfect 20/20 vision for distance now, but now I need reading glasses, which I never did before, so it's so weird to have to keep putting them back on. Okay, now let's get this thing out of the way. So we only need that for the paper now. Okay, so the first one, we're going to remember that the shorter distance goes on the top and the wider one goes on the bottom. Starting in the middle, you go right through all your papers, right in that middle center hole. You're going to pull your string and leave a bit over here. You're going to go up to the top and then right through all your papers. And you're going to pull that. Then you're going to bypass the middle. You're going to go down to the bottom, right in there, and pull, and back to the middle, and come right up through that middle one. There we go. Now, pull the needle off. Now I'm just going to tug it a little bit so you have a little bit more thread here. There we go. Now we have these two. One of them is going to go underneath that middle band. Okay, so you have one over here and one over here. One to the left, one to the right. And you're going to give it a good tug. And you're going to pick it up, make sure that it's nice and secure in your journal, so that when you look at the back, see it's got a nice line, and there's no gaps anywhere. This plaid is really hard to see. I apologize for that, but I think you can see that. And now with going side to side, give it a good tug, and you're gonna, the way I tie a knot is I wrap it around my fingers, I grab this one, you tie it whichever way you want, and then I pull through. That ties it so tight it's not gonna come out. But I'll do that 3 times. I put 3 knots there. Now, you can leave these long to put dangles on or something, and so I'm going to leave them long because I don't know if I'm going to need them or not. And if not, later, you can always come back and clip it about 1 inch or so long, you know, to the center of the book. I'm going to just clip here because, there you go, 3 inches below the book level, because I'm not sure what I'm going to do with this particular journal yet, so I'm going to take them off. And that's what you do. So you can do the next one the same way, and we're going to measure because we want it to go top to bottom, and our measurements were 1 inch, 3 inches, and just below 3.5. Okay, so we're going to chomp that right there. 1, 2, oops, turn around. You know, it's the smaller journals, they fit in here, but this one's a little big. 3. Okay, and again, you're going to start with your thread. This part's, you know, a little bit easier. Getting the paper straightened out and the holes are a little tricky, but really, it's really not hard. Okay, so we're going to do 1, 2, 3 lengths, so we have, make sure we have plenty of thread. And I just use a big yarn needle, actually, so that it's, you're not wasting time trying to fight with the sewing part of this. Okay, so this is the middle front. Okay, now we're going to go to the next one from the back of the book. Go in, pull through until you have, you know, a length of the width of the book. Go to the next one to the top. Come back in. Keep your papers together while you do this so that they're not wiggling around. Go to the bottom one. Make sure when you go to the bottom now, see what I just did is I went to the wrong hole. Make sure you get in the right hole. How many times I've done that and have to pull it out and do it again. Especially with material like this, it's hard to see that plaid. I wasn't thinking about that. Okay, so then I pull it up, pull this one underneath, so you have one to the right and one to the left. See, I didn't do it. Try again. There we go. And then snug that up so that it's not going anywhere. And then 3 knots, tight, 1, 2, and 3. And again, I'm going to leave that a little bit long because I haven't decided what I'm going to do with that yet. There we go. So now we have 2 signatures installed. Oops. My camera is so close tonight. Let me see if I can get it. Of course, you know what it is too? Is my book is so much taller than some of the others. There. Alright. Now, 2 more. And here we go. So we're going to measure our papers. That one looked a little crooked. Okay. So, 1, 3, 3.5. Okay. And again, I know this is boring, but it looks so nice when you get them all in there, and it really comes together pretty fast once you're getting the hang of it. And don't be afraid Oh, I'm always so afraid of new things, and sometimes it's like, when I do it, it's like, oh, it's really not that big a deal, just relax. I have to tell myself. Okay, 1, 2, 3. We'll cut that. Find the needle. Here we go. See, I have that little dish of things, thank goodness, right? Oops. Okay, so thread the needle, and we're going to go, making sure that this closer one is to the top. We're going to go through here, and we're going to go in the middle. Always start in the middle of your book on the inside. Find your holes. There we go. Going to bypass the middle, go to the bottom, get it that third hole, and then back to the middle. I think I could get that without looking, but it never happens. There we go. And we'll just put that under there. Take that off. Give it a tug. And they're nice and secure. And then 3 knots. 1, 2, and 3. Cut that. There we go. Take these off. Oh, and I was going to put that one on the other way, but that's alright. I'm going to have that one for the cover, but now this one will be on the cover because I'm not paying attention, but that's okay. Okay, so this one goes this way. So again, we're going to measure. This is a little crooked here. Okay. So, 1, 3, and 3.5. There we go. This is the last one. The exciting part is once this is in, you start decorating, and then you have so much fun. Now that takes a while. If you're going to load the book, if you're going to load this journal, then it will take you some time. Some of mine come together really fast because I know exactly how I want it to look, and others I think about it and I try something and I'm not crazy about it, so I try something else and they take a little bit longer. But it's so much fun and the results are so beautiful. I really enjoy this, and anybody can do this. If you can cut paper and glue, you're good to go. Because that's the most of it. Making the book here, you have to measure, you have to be careful, but it really isn't hard. It comes together really fast. Okay, so put our little things out of there. So through the middle, up to the top, bypass the middle, go to the bottom, go right into that bottom hole, and back through the middle. That's why you give yourself extra string so you can maneuver that. Okay, so now we're going to go underneath this. So you have one on the right, one on the left. We're going to give it a good snug pull. That's why I like this 6-strand embroidery floss, because it's strong. So then you can make your 3 knots. 1, 2, and 3. We take our clips off. Leave a little string here. I may be cutting some of those, but for now I just want to leave them. And then that's it. Your journal is ready to go. Now, like I said before, these papers are full. It goes right to the tippity top, and they stick out, some of them over here. But that's okay, because some of them may be turned in as a tuck, like, well, we'll just use this first page. So don't worry, you can cut them, you can fold them in, like this one. We can actually fold it in quite far. Well, maybe just this much, maybe about 1 inch or so. See, we can fold it in, and let me get an example here. I just some tags and such so you can show you. Like this little journal card go in there, a bigger one, even a long one you can put in there. See, so you can put a piece of paper in there, you know, for extra writing space. So your long pieces you can do a lot with. We'll be working on this journal over the next month or so, from time to time as we fill it, so I can show you those things. But for now I'm just going to leave them all long. But let's take a walk through it. So we have this beautiful map paper, start our journal, and some coffee dyed paper, and some avocado dyed paper, and some more paper. Some this is a page out of an old book, and more writing paper, and we have our parchment paper. I love that parchment paper. And then we have our other half of the same pages all the way through, and then to the back of the map page. So that's one signature, and then you have the same throughout with the others. So this is really a nice full journal. This has a lot of pages. I'm not going to overstuff it, but it will be pretty full, probably something like that. And you can see the signatures that are there. There's 4. They're pretty straight considering my should have my glasses on. But anyway, I haven't decided if I will cover that or leave it open like that to show the spine, or not. A lot of the time I cover it with material or lace, and it secures it better and it makes it a little more strong. So just figure that out as we go. And then you have your extra strings. You can just leave them like that, or you can put little beads on them or decorate them somehow. But anyway, there's our journal in 2 lessons. We have part 1 and part 2, and I hope you enjoyed this video. Give me a thumbs up if you liked it, share, and subscribe if you haven't subscribed yet. You'll get all the upcoming videos and tutorials so that we can work together on our journal building. And you can check out my Etsy shop. I have some journals ready for new homes. So I hope you had a good time tonight, and I will see you next time. Thank you. Bye-bye.